Tokyo Ghoul, the manga that contains this panel, also this panel, and all of this. If I told you I wanted to live a normal life, you'd laugh, wouldn't you? Tokyo Ghoul is a manga by Sui Ishida, who now is the man behind Choujin X. Throughout my channel, there's a pattern of anime or manga that I cover. Objectively, my taste is quite diverse, but some aspects stands out. Believe me when I say that I don't particularly seek this edgy manga or anime, but they are the one that stands out in the spotlight. They are the popular ones. And Tokyo Ghoul, I love this manga, it's unique. After all the manga I've read and anime I've watched, Tokyo Ghoul has its charm. At a glance, it's simple, humans and monsters at war. They can live with each other. Most of the manga I've covered in my channel are action seinen, so expect gore, violence, sex, torture, self-harm. In Tokyo Ghoul, we have all of that. And if you're still unfamiliar with the story, this manga has a very solid start. Our journey begins with Kaneki Ken, a seemingly ordinary guy who, much like Choujin X, ends up in a seriously odd circumstances. The story starts with Kaneki Ken, a college student with a passion for literature, whose life takes a drastic turn after a seemingly innocent date with a girl named Rize Kamishiro, who turns out to be a ghoul. The date goes out when things get violent. It's not your typical dinner date, but then again, no dinner in Tokyo Ghoul is. After a surgical procedure to save his life by transplanting Rize's organs to him, Kaneki becomes a ghoul. Caught between the human and ghoul worlds, he experiences the complexities of his new identity, facing problems and fear from both sides. There's also a cafe, which serves as the neutral ground where ghouls coexist with humans, unknowingly for the humans. The cafe becomes a sanctuary for Kaneki and other ghouls, offering a glimpse into the potential harmony between the two species. The thought of humans and ghouls living together is a very vital point in Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re, so make sure you take note of that. Well, not literally with a pen and paper, but keep it in your head. In Tokyo Ghoul, there's an organization called the Commission of Counter Ghoul, better known by its abbreviation, CCG. As its name states, it prosecutes ghouls. That is only what it seems in the surface. But what is its main purpose? I won't get deep into the iceberg because that will be a major spoiler for those who haven't read yet. There's a saying, we see the world not as it is, but as we are. If you're a liar, then you will think that everyone else is a liar. And I agree with that. That is very understandable. Humans initially view ghouls with fear. They are judgmental, seeing ghouls as a threat to their existence, which isn't wrong, that's our survival instinct. Ghouls, on the other hand, are often forced to hide their true nature due to the stigma attached to them. Their struggle for survival shapes how they perceive the world and humans. After Kaneki's transformation into a half-ghoul, he undergoes a profound internal struggle. His perception of the world shifts. Humans and ghouls are on the opposite side of the spectrum. So does he not belong in both worlds, or can he be the bridge between both worlds? Kaneki's struggle with identity and the fear of being rejected by both humans and ghouls highlights how personal experiences shape one's view of the world. His childhood wasn't easy. It consists of a lot of trauma and bad experiences. After he became a ghoul, it went further downhill, especially during his torture in the 11th ward. Well, I got spoiled about this from the statue by Figurama. Kaneki went in the 11th ward with black hair, but in the statue he has white hair, so there must be something big that will happen. Anyway, the scene I wanted to talk about is Kaneki's fight versus Yamori. Let me get this clear, I only read the manga of Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re. I don't watch the anime because I read somewhere, a lot of places, that the manga is much better. It is. Do me a favor and take a look at this comparison. This is the manga panel during Kaneki's acceptance that he is a ghoul. This is a profile picture for all of you edgy kids. This is the anime adaptation. Is that it? Ain't no edgy person gonna edge to this. We haven't even looked at the main fight yet. At least it's not Record of Ragnarok. That manga is really good, but for some reason, the anime is underwhelming. Bro, the manga has more frames than the anime. Tokyo Ghoul anime adaptation is not terrible, but it's not good either. Even if I don't expect heaven-filled animation, this is still under standards. Manga is better. You might be wondering, what is the aftermath of this? Kaneki struggles to accept the seemingly misfortune of his life. It's not about the current state of the world, but rather about the necessity of suffering in this world. This thought process parallels the grief and disbelief experience when losing loved ones to accidents or illnesses. A feeling that it's not a deserved punishment or a justifiable response. Kaneki is flooded by the extensive suffering he and others live through, realizing the reason behind their pain are externally out of their control. He believes this is unjust. He wanted a world that isn't unfair. But the world is unfair. There are so many things that we cannot decide. You have the power over your mind, not outside defense. Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. There's value in sunny days because there are rainy days and vice versa. However, Kaneki hasn't realized this yet in Tokyo Ghoul. So now we go into Tokyo Ghoul Re. Something happened at the end of Tokyo Ghoul, so Kaneki lost his mind and his new life took a turn. He now works at the CCG, his former enemy, with a new name, Heisei Sasaki. I won't talk much about his journey as Heisei Sasaki because I can't cover everything in a 10-minute video, but later down the line, we got this panel. Heisei Sasaki is Kaneki Ken. Now his mind is even more up with multiple identities. He eventually returns to being Kaneki Ken again, regroup with his old friends and I thought I was redirected to the wrong website. Bear in mind that Tokyo Ghoul does not show any sort of nudity or sexual activities throughout the series. And suddenly, there's this. A whole chapter is dedicated to a scene. I genuinely thought that I accidentally got redirected to a Choujin site or some hentai shit. But this shows that Kaneki started to accept reality and live his life as usual. Doesn't mean the war with the CCG has ended by this chapter, but at least in Tokyo Ghoul Re, we can see change as intended. At the end of Tokyo Ghoul Re, Kaneki comes to an acceptance that the world isn't wrong. The world isn't wrong, it just is. It is how it is. You can change the world, but you can change your mindset towards the world. If you think he's special in this story for being a one-night ghoul, or half human, half ghoul, then you're wrong. Because there are a lot of one-night in the world of Tokyo Ghoul. By accepting the reality of the world, we can start to improve. There are always external factors out of our control. We live with it. This world is unfair. It always has been. What are we gonna do with it? Because life is hard for everyone. Life is going to be hard. There's value in life because of the struggle through it. If you look at Kaneki, since the first chapter of Tokyo Ghoul, he is the underdog. Kaneki was written as a diligent character, but he also knew who to associate with, where to go, and all the stuff that is usually overlooked. If a miner that digs the wrong hole cannot succeed if there's no coal, that miner could dig for 18 hours a day, 24/7. But I still don't see him as a diligent hard worker. He was too lazy to find a better spot. That's why success seems out of reach. I don't have any serious complaints about Tokyo Ghoul, but some of the characters are forgettable. There could be a character that only appears for a few chapters, then 100 chapters later reappears with a grudge because someone killed a person important to them. There are a lot of ghouls and humans, I don't remember half of them. Also, one of the villains, Furuta, is obnoxiously crazy but sometimes serious. Furu is a fan of Sunju. When we are able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must appear inactive. He literally has his own monologue in third person. His insanity is not subtle, but he is like, I'm crazy, I'm Furuta. On top of that, his whole bloodline is cursed, which reminds me of this faith healing video.
God is setting you free right now. Is there anything you wanted to renounce? I want to renounce a generational curse. My child is autistic, and he's not. He has no brains at all. Like, we've tried everything.
What the fuck? Every single Tokyo Ghoul character is saner than this.